We're continuing to follow developing news out of Nashville tonight. An investigation continuing after a shooter entered a school, killing 3 adults and 3 children. The police department there giving an update earlier, saying the investigation of that scene could last well into tomorrow morning or later. Now, this is what the scene looked like earlier today. Officers surrounding that school as family members rushed to get their children. And this is a look at the names of the victims here. All 6 were killed today. The 3 children were all 9 years old. And of the adults who were killed, one was a school custodian. Another is believed to be a substitute teacher.
Now, the Covenant School has around 200 students from kindergarten through 6th grade. City leaders calling it the worst day for their community.
But let us love each other and support each other and hug each other and pray for each other and pray for our families. But also let us praise our first responders.
We will not wait. I was hoping this day would never ever come here in this city, but we would never wait to make entry and to go in and to stop a threat, especially when it deals with our children.
Now, the police chief says the school's safety protocols likely prevented the carnage from being worse.
We are also learning more about that shooter tonight. Officers shot and killed the attacker, identified as 28-year-old Audrey Hale, a transgender woman. They say she lived in the area and attended the school years ago. Investigators found detailed maps drawn of the school. She gained entry by shooting through one of the doors. Among the discoveries, a manifesto.
We have a map drawn out of how this was all going to take place. There's right now a theory of that we may be able to talk about later, but it's not confirmed, and so we'll put that out as soon as we can.
Now, police say a theory about the shooter's gender identification as a motive is under investigation. Hale, though, had no known mental illness history and no criminal history either. 2 of the guns used in the attack may have been obtained legally in the area. Another location is believed to have been a potential target, but the suspect determined there was too much security for an attack.
Well, there's been a lot of reaction to this tragedy across social media throughout the day. Lydia Bice is at the Now Desk for us. And Lydia, what are people saying?
Well, Vice President Kamala Harris took to Twitter this evening saying that she and her husband Doug are praying for the Nashville community after another school shooting has taken more innocent lives. She also said, quote, "We are not powerless to stop this. Congress must pass the assault weapons ban. President Biden will sign it." Tennessee Governor Bill Lee tweeted this afternoon saying that he was monitoring the tragic situation and that the Tennessee Department of Safety and Tennessee Highway Patrol were assisting local law enforcement at the scene. He asks the public to continue praying for the school, congregation, and Nashville community. Shannon Watts, who is the founder of Moms Demand Action, tweeted a photo of a child leaving the school and heading to a reunification center right after the shooting. And Andy Ogles, who represents the district where the Covenant School is located, released a statement saying that as a father of 3, he is utterly heartbroken by this senseless act of violence. He also thanks the brave first responders who provided support throughout this tragedy. Back to you.
Lydia, thank you. And we will continue to cover this situation as we get more information. You can head over to our website right now at Dayton247now.com. You'll find all of our latest stories on this and updates right there on the homepage.
Well, tonight we're hearing from the now former Perry Township Police Chief. Tim Littleton was terminated as conversations continue surrounding New Lebanon potentially taking over police services for Perry Township. So Gwyneth Falloon is live after speaking with the former chief. And Gwen, what is he telling you about this?
Megan, Littleton tells me that his termination came as a complete surprise. I spoke with him earlier and he says he was on medical leave for personal reasons at the time of his firing, and he feels betrayed and hurt by the board's decision to terminate him as chief of police.
There was a lot of tension between the board of trustees and I. I'm not sure why that is. I've always had an open door policy, not with just the residents of the township or the officers, but the trustees as well.
So, Gwen, what is the Board of Trustees then saying? Have they said why they chose to fire Littleton?
No, the reasoning behind his firing is still unknown tonight. I did speak with trustee Zach Music very briefly this afternoon. He says at this time, the board is not discussing why Littleton was terminated by any further. However, for now, Officer Erica Barga is going to handle police matters. That's according to music. And in a statement released by the Board of Trustees, they say, quote, they quote, anticipate a smooth transition by reorganizing the Perry Township Police Department from within, and thank the officers of Perry Township Police Department for the dedication and service to the residents of Perry Township, end quote. Now, this is a developing story, so as new information becomes available, we'll be sure to update you both here on air and online. Back to you.
Gwen, thank you. New tonight, the Montgomery County Coroner's Office has now identified the 5 people that were found dead after a fire on North Broadway Street in Dayton earlier this month. Their names are 33-year-old Brittany Lee Alsop, 40-year-old Crescinda Joe Ray Freeman, 41-year-old Christopher Herman, 30-year-old Andrew Miller, and 37-year-old Laura Sears. The cause and manner of death for all 5 has not been determined yet, and the cause of that fire is under investigation still. We'll update you here on air and online as soon as we learn anything new.
And the coroner's office also releasing the name of a man who was killed over the weekend. 36-year-old Brian Girth was shot to death on Michelle Court in Inglewood back on Saturday. Police say someone shot Girth in self-defense. No arrests have been made as of tonight.
A Springfield woman was arrested last night after police found 13 pounds of weed in a suitcase, they say. Deputies say 53-year-old Jennifer Havens was pulled over after smelling a strong marijuana odor. Havens then admitted to having the drugs in a suitcase in a back seat. She now faces drug trafficking charges.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is going to be in the Miami Valley on Wednesday. Biden will visit with military families at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. She'll also tour a local Purple Star Elementary School supporting military connected children and host a listening session with military families. We're going to have coverage from her visit here both on air and online.
All right, to weather now. A relatively quiet day today after a pretty busy weekend with the rain. Temperatures, they are getting back towards spring-like.
Yeah.
Seems like
closer to normal. Still a little bit on the chilly side, but we'll take it for this time of the year.
Sure.
Yeah, a little bit of an up and down trend, but as of right now, we are on the slightly below normal side. We're in the 40s currently. It's chilly right now, of course, needing a jacket if you're heading out there this evening. We're sitting at 42 in Dayton, 39 in Wapakoneta, 39 in Urbana. All of us sitting colder right now compared to where we were this time yesterday. 10 degrees colder, in fact, in Dayton. We're 11 degrees colder right now in Greenville. Got some clouds around. Can't rule out some drizzle or a spotty shower over these next couple of hours, but will eventually clear out by the morning. Waking up to 30s. Notice by the afternoon, small chance for a shower by late into the afternoon and evening. Temperature-wise, upper 40s, but not too bad of a Tuesday. I'll talk about when 60s will finally return coming up in a bit.
Natalie, thanks. John Carter appeared in court for the first time this morning to answer to the death of his fiancée, Caitlin Markham. Markham disappeared back in 2011 and was found dead 2 years later. The defense said given Carter's family ties to the area and stable job, he should be released without a bond. However, the Butler County prosecutor presented some of the evidence that's going to be used in trial to show why Carter should have a high bond. He read from some notes recovered when a search warrant was executed on Carter's mother's house. Here's a little of what he said.
Deep down, I love her. You want to kill her. But I love her. She must die. I can't kill her. Yes, you can. No. Yes. How do you talk me into all these things? I'm just that good. But you're bad. I know. How do I kill you? You can't. You're right. About what? Nothing.
And the judge sent John Carter's bond at $1 million. He'll be back in court next week for a pretrial hearing.
Happening tomorrow, Trotwood City officials are set to visit the Ohio State House to provide testimony on reckless driving and hooning. Now, they're going to testify at 3 p.m. before the Ohio House of Representatives Criminal Justice Committee. Their statements will be used to back up House Bill 56, which would provide tougher laws and penalties for reckless driving and hooning on the city's public streets. Trotwood's Mayor Mary McDonald is among those expected to attend.
Right now, Dayton city leaders and stakeholders are working to figure out what's next after a fire at the historic Wright Brothers airplane factory. The building's caught fire around 2 o'clock Sunday morning. Firefighters worked well into the afternoon to put it out. Mamie Bond tells us what next steps will be taken.
Right now, Dayton Fire Department is assessing the damage and working to determine what started the fire. We do know that this is the oldest and first airplane manufacturing building in the world. For more than 13 hours, firefighters worked to put out the flames yesterday. This is a look from our Dayton 24/7 Now sky view at the damage. The Dayton Fire Department says due to the intensity of the flames and the fire breaching the roof, firefighters could only work from the outside. An aerial ladder was used to pour water into the factory. In 1911, the Wright brothers built this factory. I spoke with the lead archivist at Wright State University, which is named after the brothers because of the family's contributions, including these photos.
The pictures here on the table show the interior shots of people working, manufacturing these airplanes for use.
So many firsts.
So many firsts, exactly. This is Ida Holdgreave. She's the first woman to work in an airplane factory. This one photo is kind of interesting. That's Charlie Taylor. He was the gentleman that helped the Wrights build the engine for the airplane.
The property was vacated in 2009 when Delphi closed their long-standing automotive facility. The city of Dayton now owns the property. I reached out to ask were any steps taken to try and preserve it since it is a piece of history. The city said yes, with the help of our partners. Security cameras were installed on the perimeter of the historic hangars. National Park Service rangers patrolled the site, and funding from the state of Ohio was secured to continue stabilization and preservation efforts. We're also told that the city development team is contacting stakeholders to discuss future development. Back to you.
Mamie, thanks. Cleanup efforts underway in Mississippi tonight after a tornado ravaged the state. What federal officials say about their dedication to the state's recovery tonight.
Also, a popular asthma treatment in short supply for months. What local doctors are saying about the shortage.
Plus, I'm tracking a cool start to the week. Also, some rain chances on the way. That's coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
The main labor union in Israel says it will call off a nationwide strike. Now, this comes after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu delayed a vote to overhaul the nation's highest courts. Protests there have brought parts of the country to a standstill. Tens of thousands of protesters say the country is veering toward autocracy. And some of these protests are hitting close to home. Dr. Jack Rubenstein's 19-year-old daughter is studying abroad in Israel. He has offered her some fatherly advice as she navigates working and living during civil unrest thousands of miles from home.
I know you want to be out there, I know you want to be seen, but this is not her fight. I try to explain to her. You're a guest in this country, in that country, so be part of, see what's happening, understand the world around you, but you're not going to be on the front lines of this one. And she understood it.
And the doctor says so far his daughter is safe and says that this will be a memory that she carries for a lifetime.
Well, most Americans see TikTok's ties to China as a national security threat, but one key exception is younger people. According to a new CBS poll, a majority favor a ban on the tips of the video streaming app, with ages 30 to 44 in favor. Some with those between, or it's the same with those between 45 and 64. However, it's those above 65 who are the most favorable at 83%. Just 39% of those between 18 and 29, though, or TikTok's main users say a ban is necessary. TikTok CEO recently defended the app in front of Congress.
The bottom line is this: American data stored on American soil by an American company, overseen by American personnel. We call this initiative Project Texas.
Now, that's in reference to concerns that China can direct TikTok through its Chinese owner ByteDance to steal U.S. user data. TikTok says it's not controlled by China. Experts, though, say Beijing still has the ability to assert power over the app.
People in Mississippi continuing to assess the damage after a massive tornado ripped through that state Friday, killing 21 people. But recovery may be longer for them than others who have been hit with a natural disaster, because most residents in the tornado's path are below the poverty line. Two counties slammed by the EF4 tornado, Sharkey and Humphreys, have poverty rates at or higher than 33%. For reference, Mississippi's poverty rate is about 19%, and the entire United States is less than 12%. Federal officials vow to help victims regardless of their socioeconomic conditions.
We remain committed to doing everything we can to help those impacted by these storms and help them recover.
Now, the president approved an expedited major disaster declaration for the state and ordered federal funding be made available. Preliminary assessments show more than 300 structures in the state were destroyed, more than 1,000 affected in some way. Officials say recovery will likely take years.
Well, quieter weather across much of the U.S. for today. We do have cloud cover here in the Miami Valley. A couple of showers around, little areas of drizzle. That's just about it. This will continue to clear out as we do head into the evening, though. Notice our temperatures that will be in the 30s as we wake up early tomorrow morning. Now, by tomorrow afternoon, a little bit more cloud cover building in. Temperature-wise, upper 40s. There's a small chance for a shower by the early afternoon into the evening, so spotty shower can't be ruled out. Most of us will be dry for tomorrow. But waking up Wednesday morning, quiet sunshine, 50s Wednesday afternoon, but then we have another front that will make its way in, bringing us more showers by Wednesday afternoon. This is going to quickly make its way through, so not a whole lot of rain. But coming up, I am tracking a bigger rainmaker, plus when we'll see those 60s back in the forecast too.
Natalie, thanks so much. The Dayton unit of the NAACP hosted a town hall tonight titled "What's Going On with Our Youth?" Well, several Dayton youth councils came together to create an open discussion on what is happening with the younger generations here in the Miami Valley. Their goal, they say, was trying to make good changes within the community and to have the voices of Dayton area youth be heard.
I think it's very important. A lot of times, I think we as adults, we're so quick to maybe get together among ourselves, as far as like maybe making decisions on behalf of the youth. And a lot of times, I don't think we do it on purpose, but I think we sometimes omit or, and we forget to add the youth to the conversation. And so tonight, I think they really just wanted to come out and to be heard.
And because of what had happened in Nashville earlier today, everyone at the meeting held a moment of silence before they got started as a way to honor the victims who lost their lives during that school shooting. Well, we are only 1 week into spring and health experts are already warning us about allergy season. But some good news, for the first time in more than a decade, Dayton has actually fallen off the top 15 in the spring allergy capitals list released by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. Now, Dayton has now plummeted to number 88 out of 100 cities listed all across the country. So while this is good news, it won't prevent people from suffering the usual relentless symptoms. Premier health doctors say typically with spring allergies, we see red eyes, scratchy throats, and runny noses.
Sometimes it's hard to determine whether it's allergy related or is this a virus going on, because we are still in the COVID era. We still have a lot of viruses being passed around right now. So it's really important to, if you have concern whether it's allergies or a virus, to get checked out by your healthcare provider.
Now, we mostly deal with pollen from plants in the springtime. He tells us while the pollen counts are a little lower than they have been historically, when we look at the data, we're still using a lot of allergy medication. And speaking of medication, albuterol, a popular treatment for asthma, has been in short supply now for months, but local doctors say not to worry as they do have alternatives available. Milena Brown spoke with some of those doctors today.
Doctors say that the shortage is of the aerosolized albuterol form that is used in the nebulizer machine, but the highly used inhaler form is still available for parents to get a prescription. They also want parents to know they should always use that prescription when needed.
If their child is having their asthma symptoms, they need to treat that with the albuterol. So do not ration that medication. Take care of their child.
The shortage could last for quite some time, as one of the main manufacturers of the drug did just go out of operation, but hospitals say that they do have a back supply and they are fully prepared. For Dayton 24/7 Now News, I'm Milena Brown.
All right, here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam tonight over downtown Dayton. The clouds are there, still there. It is a little colder outside if you step outside right now, but the weather seems to be moving in the right direction if you are someone who's a fan of the warmer spring-like weather.
Yeah, we got some 60s on the way, but these next couple of days, not terribly cold. We'll get through them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
right. You know, this is an improvement. It's this time of the year. By April, we get those cold days, but it's not going to be as cold as, you know, the middle of January. So we'll take some 40s, upper 40s in the forecast tomorrow. Cloud cover, very small chance for a shower, but we do have 60s by the end of the week, and that's with our next weather maker that will be making its way in as well. But I have some better news. Heading into the month of April, it is looking like we will start to see more of an above normal temperature trend. So we're going to be monitoring maybe some warmer weather as we do head into the month of April. But for these next couple of days, a little cooler. Going to talk about that next weather maker, though, and what we're expecting with it in our 7-day coming up.
Natalie, thanks. Miami Valley favorite expanding its Springboro location. The change is coming to Crooked Handle Brewing Company. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Montgomery County officials taking to Facebook to alert Miami Township residents about potential water disruptions following a water main break. Some residents will have to have their water service shut off for the entire day. Some will be under a boil advisory for at least 24 hours once water pressure returns. Now, this will impact some homes along Rula Court, Lame Road, and Burnham Lane. We have a complete list of addresses that will be impacted on our website, Dayton247now.com.
A story from our partners at the Dayton Business Journal now. Crooked Handle Brewing Company is expanding its Springboro location. They're going to be adding an event space, which includes another private restroom, more patio space, and extra storage and office space. The brewery has become so popular recently that it's been running out of seating during peak business hours. So this added space is going to help to add at least 30 to 40 seats and help to meet those customer needs. And we have all the details for you right now on Dayton247now.com. You can find this story plus others like it right there under the Dayton Business Journal heading in the news tab.
Well, there are a lot of traumatic events happening around the nation, and if you're struggling, we want you to know that there are resources available for you. Dayton 24/7 Now is partnering with the National Alliance on Mental Illness, known as NAMI, to launch Sinclair Cares Mental Health Support and Hope. It's a campaign all meant to encourage mental health awareness with a focus on young adults. If you need some extra support right now, there's a lot of resources and support groups for you right here in the Miami Valley. Just go to sinclaircares.com or scan the QR code on your screen. Well, a baby cow made famous by his unique markings. A look at how happy the calf in his new life as a agricultural mascot.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
A calf with some unique markings that resemble a smiley face has now been given a nickname, Happy. The couple who bred Happy decided to sell the 1-month-old calf for more than $6,000. The proceeds from that sale are going to go to a nearby hospital. Now, Happy has found his forever home at the Farm World Agricultural Expo, where he will see out the rest of his days as the annual event's mascot.
Let's take a look at some of your happy pets. Albert sent us this picture. This is Belle, and